I'm currently CEO of Red Argyle. We're a Salesforce, what we call solutions integrator, which is a company who implements Salesforce technology for other companies. Um, I've been working in technology for about 25 years, but before that, I had a background in vegetable farming, horse manure cleanup, uh, fast food, and got into technology and then worked my way through a number of different jobs.
Oh, I'm
And we
sorry,
started,
Gary, just
yeah,
to interrupt you on that very specific points, I think for some, so I think what you're saying is a very American thing, is that in America you can start from really the bottom and I mean, train yourself, or you can always find some new opportunities. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, it took a long time and a lot of work.
Mm.
But they're for people who are dedicated, I think there's always opportunity for exciting and growth type work. Um, and Yeah, I mean, and we'll talk about that a lot more tonight, I'm sure. But there are a lot of opportunities available in technology. I specialize in Salesforce, but generally speaking, there's a lot going on that's really exciting for building professional skills to launch a good career in tech.
Mm, that's wonderful. Maybe Gary, could you explain us a little bit what is Salesforce and your company,
Hmm.
vis-a-vis, with within that
Hmm.
Salesforce ecosystem?
Hmm. Sure. So before I get into that, I'll say, my personal experience has been in Salesforce since 2008. But I think a lot of what I'm, here to talk about really is applicable in a lot of areas of technology. Even though my specific experience is just with Salesforce, there's great careers in Microsoft and Google and Apple and, all of the big tech players. So um, I think Salesforce is particularly interesting though, because they have such a well-developed training program and Salesforce community, and there is still a big shortage of Salesforce professionals.
Mm,
So let's say what Salesforce is. So Salesforce is a technology platform. It originally started as a sales team management tool. So say that you're someone who sells insurance. You would have a system that you track your leads and your deals and the money of the deals and when you're going to close your deals, when you last talked to everyone, and help organize all of those sales activities. And then management would help with reporting and analytics and training and all that side. So Salesforce started just doing that, but then people realized pretty quickly that it is applicable to a lot more areas of a company's business. So they started launching additional products. So they launched Service Cloud, which is for customer service. They launched CPQ, which is for building complex quotes and billing. They bought Slack, which is a chat platform. They have an entire customizable backend so that you can build really any apps that you want on Salesforce. An example is we built an app for um, parking police to track cars that are parking bad and write their tickets, which isn't very popular when the people get their tickets, but it saves a lot of money to the companies that have, built that kind of stuff. So it's a very, emerging tech still, even though it's, 20 years old, you can do a lot and they're innovating rapidly. So yeah, it's an interesting place to be.
mm. And Gary, what about your company and Red Argyle?
Um, yeah, so my partner Tom founded the business in 2011, and then he asked me to join him in 2012. And when we started, it was just the two of us. So we had to do every job, uh, all of the consulting, all of the technical work, all of the design work, and all of the business management, all the entrepreneur stuff, marketing, selling. We took all that on, and it was very, very difficult in the beginning, but also a great learning experience to do everything and do it our own way. So over the years, we've grown. Now we have our 13th anniversary today, actually. So yay! And we are 52 people on our team. So we have consultants working in 15 states in the US, and we're continuing to expand a little bit at a time. We're not growing super fast, but we're still continually growing, which is a really nice place to be.
Congratulations. What would you say, Garry, are the most, I mean, if you would advise people that want to go in that field, which areas, you would say is really interesting for people to pursue, and do they need a real strong tech background? What kind of background people
Mhm.
would?
A strong tech background is an accelerator to get into Salesforce faster, but it's not a absolute requirement to work in Salesforce. The good thing with Salesforce is it used to be small, so you had to have a lot of technical skill to work there, work with the platform. But now there's so many unique jobs that don't require a heavy tech experience. An example would be their marketing products or their, some of their AI products where they're, you're learning along with all the rest of us how these new technologies work. So there are many jobs where if you're not from a tech background, you can still be very successful. But having some tech background always helps. And my advice to people now is first go broad and learn a little bit of everything, and then figure out where your personal interests and professional strengths lie. And then, instead of the whole platform, focus on getting really good at one part of the platform. Like there are people who start learning Salesforce and then they say, okay, all I want to do is be the best in the world at reports, or I want to integrate phone systems with Salesforce all day long, or I want to work with patient care systems on Salesforce. And you can really pick a small niche and get very good at it very quickly and be amongst the best because there's so many little specialties.
Great. Well, Garry, this was a great introduction. We're gonna go now to Ahmed, and
Mm-hmm.
then we start to ask if people have questions or maybe things that you think is important to add. Ahmed, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit and speak about your experience with, training or recommendations you have?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is
Oh,
Ahmed.
Ahmed, the
I
sound
am a
is
professional with a background. My sound is not that good. All right. Let me connect from my mobile. So just
yeah,
give me a
it's
minute,
a
please.
bit iffy now.
I
Always a
don't know what's
challenge
wrong with
with a
it. Let me remove my Bluetooth, maybe. Technology. Okay, is it better?
Yes, it's better.
No. Is it better? Or you wish me to connect from my mobile phone?
No, it's not.
It's not good, right? Okay. Let me connect it from my mobile. Join from my mobile. I'm sorry for the inconvenience.
Now it was better.
happy to take a question while Ahmed is getting set up.
I got a question. Oh, he's back.
Go ahead, Idris.
Yeah, Garry, since you said specialization, like within that industry, do you guys specialize in something, or at least like several directions that you guys think that you specialize in?
Yeah, so we're working in three areas heavily right now. One is a subcategory of Salesforce called Experience Cloud, which is what would be like when a partner needs to log in or a community-based part of the system. We have another practice that's specific for cybersecurity on Salesforce. So, we work with banks and health companies to make sure that their Salesforce is aligned to their bigger cybersecurity needs. And then we have another practice that's heavily focused on UX. So, really just doing user optimization. And then our fourth practice is a team that specializes in heavy engineering. So they do really, really complicated application builds basically that are very unique. So 4 teams working on 4 areas of specialty. That's a great question. Thank you.
Thank you.
My personal efforts these days, which is funny, is I work on the security team mostly. So I do a lot of the InfoSec consulting and analysis, and then most of the rest of my day is sales. So I'm running our sales team and keeping our pipeline full, which is a very interesting place to be. I never thought I'd be in sales.
Wow. Ahmed, I think Ahmed got in through another. Ahmed? Yeah, he's logging in, I think, from another device.
Garry, you said that the two of us, how do you split your responsibilities between the two? So you are in sales and InfoSec, and your partner, your business partner, is?
He runs operations and does a lot of our architecture and heavy engineering management. So all of our developer operations, our internal Salesforce instance, and then HR and accounting he runs.
Great. Ahmed, can you try? Let's see if it's better.
I think it should be working better now.
Yes,
I'm sorry for the inconvenience. I don't know what went wrong with the Wi-Fi. So this is my data, mobile data. Thanks God, I enabled to log in through my mobile. So hi everyone. My name is Ahmed Bhatti, and I'm a professional with accounting and technology. I did my graduation in Bachelor of Accountancy in 1994, and then my management accountancy I earned degree in 2000. I have vast experience, and I'm connected to this technology since 90s. You may remember Windows 3.1, Lotus 123, WordStar. These are the very old technologies. So I'm connected with computers since 90s, before the invention of Windows 95 or Windows XP, and now we are using as Windows 10 and 11. So I love technology, and I'm always passionate about technology and learning new and new things. I remember those days that whenever a Windows new version is coming, so we were very excited. And we were the first ones who were going to install that in all our computers and see what's new is coming. Thanks God, I'm connected to Microsoft MS Access, which is a relational based database management system. And I have been working in MS Access for more than 2 decades. MS Access, and then I moved to SQL Server, which is almost the same. The platform is same. The both are relational database management system, but SQL Server has more robust functions for security, and we can create more and more logins. So I have an extensive background of working in SQL Server and MS Access. And when I came in United States last year in November 2022, and I have plenty of time. to learn something new, especially about the databases, about computers. And when I was exploring the opportunity, so I came to know about Salesforce. And I was very much excited because Salesforce is providing the same platform which is provided by MS Access and SQL Server. But the beauty of Salesforce is that it is much more easy platform. You can easily create more logins. You can easily give accessibility to the people who are in the right roles to access that information. So basically, Salesforce is the same as SQL Server, is the same as MS Access, but it's providing you more functionalities. Like you can talk to your colleagues, even with your customers on the same platform, like we are doing on WhatsApp or Facebook. So we have same functionality in Salesforce through Slack. There is a third-party software Slack which is built in Salesforce. As Garry said, that it provides you all the functionalities which is required for a CRM system. This is the world's best customer relationship management system. And the beauty that more and more companies are using Salesforce than they are using Microsoft or SAP system. So this is the Salesforce has become the number one CRM system of the world. Why? Because it gives you so much functionality with so much easiness. You can build applications within hours. You can share the information from anywhere. You don't need to install a software. All you need a login. Like you log into your Gmail account and everything is already there. It's much more easy to build your own applications. Like you can create your own tables. You can create any fields. It's date field, text field, numbers field, currency field. You can build the relationship between the tables. So I was very much excited to see Salesforce and what other functionalities is provided by Salesforce. I could not stop myself from learning Salesforce. It took
But
me 5-6 months.
yes, how long did it take you to do the actual certification, and how many hours a day you'd spend? Because I know, of course, as newcomer, everybody has to do the survival job at the start. And so how would you?
Right. Right. So when I came to know about Salesforce and the platform was amazing, so I started learning Salesforce as I have already background from this IT like SQL Server Access. So still it took me almost 5 months. But the best thing, you don't need to go to any institution to learn Salesforce like other software companies. You need to go to some academy, you need to go to some institution to learn it. Salesforce, they have provided a beautiful platform,
Mm,
a beautiful platform to learn Salesforce.
mm,
It is much more easy than any other platform,
mm,
and it provides you everything. Even if you want to do some practice, they provide you sandbox. You
mm,
go there and they have provided step by step instructions. You cannot, I mean, you can easily understand. It is not a big problem because they have provided stepwise information and they have covered almost each and every function which is offered by Salesforce.
mm,
So I love to earn more and more batches, super batches, and points on Trailhead, which is a famous learning platform provided by Salesforce. It took me 5 months,
mm,
and I almost spent every day 4 to 6 hours.
mhm, mhm.
Still,
And
it
now
took
you
me.
have a certification, you have
Yes, yes, yes. So I went for certification, and unfortunately, I failed on a first attempt because I was very much confident that I can do it easily. But when I went for the exam, so I learned that sales in the exam, they ask very tricky questions. There could be more than one answer. So I have to understand each and every question very carefully, because these are very tricky questions. These are multiple choice questions. There are 65 questions, and we have to finish that exam in 105 minutes. And immediately at the end of the exam, they tell you, oh, you failed or you pass. So first time when I failed, I couldn't believe it. I failed? I mean, I'm very much into technology. I have very good understanding of relational database management system. I have very good understanding of terminology, and still I failed. I couldn't believe it that I failed this exam. And then I go to YouTube and checked what happened to me, and what are the people who were in the same situation, what did they do. And I came to know that it's quite normal to fail the Salesforce certification exams, because the exam is full of so many tricky questions. And then thanks God, there is another site which is called Focus on Force. So they have given me some sample tests, and I go through all those tests. So it took me another 15-20 days to pass those tests. And then I came to know that Salesforce itself, they provide some test questions, and I go through also those test questions. And when I was preparing the test questions, which is provided by Salesforce, there is a website that you can practice a test before going for the exam. And I did it one time, and when I did it for the second time, so I thought that the same questions will be asked to me. But I surprised that although the link was same, but Salesforce give me 3-4, I mean total there were 30 questions, and every test I got another 5-6 new questions. So I did that test on Salesforce site maybe more than 10 times. And when I passed, I start passing every test. So I was confident that I can do it, because these are the questions in the same language which is coming in the exam. So rather, I mean, focus on force is also good. But if you want to see the same terminology, same questions pattern, so I recommend that the test question which is given on Salesforce site is more relevant, and it will give you more confidence that you can pass it. And every time you go for the test exam, there are few questions that will be different, new questions. Okay. So second time I went for the exam, I passed it. I was very happy that day. I got a lot of confidence, because if I do not have certification and I'm applying for some job, so most of the time it's mentioned there that the certification is mandatory. You have to have certification, and especially if you are not from United States, you are coming from some other countries. So maybe US companies will not have that confidence to hire you. But if you show them, oh, I have the certification, so it's a different thing. Yes. They can trust you.
And it's free, of course. You didn't pay anything for this certification and the training.
A certification, Maria, there is a small cost which is $200. And if you fail the exam and if you go for another time, then it's $100 every time you go for the exam. Yeah, but it's a small, it's a small thing. Yes. The major cost is for the training. I mean, if you go to some institution and try to learn Salesforce, so it's a huge cost, maybe $5,000, $10,000. It's a huge cost. But Trailhead,
Trailhead is free.
Yes, you don't need to pay anything. All you need to go to the Trailhead website, create your login information, or even use your Gmail account. You can log in from your Gmail account, and it will start you from step one. I mean, a Trailhead will guide you throughout the whole journey, from one step to the last step.
Okay, Ahmed, let's ask Garry. Garry, do you have anything to say? And I thank you. You've put the Trailhead, the training website in the chat for everybody. You can Garry, do you have something to say about that and, you know, your own experience doing this training or advice to people about going through this training?
Yeah, so Trailhead is a great resource. I did have a private message come in asking it's saying it's overwhelming. There's so much to learn there, and I agree it is. So I would call out they have these things they call trail mixes, which will give you a curated path of courses to take so you can figure out what your goal is and then find a trail mix that will, you know, instead of showing you all 500 courses, you can focus on the 12 that matter towards that first goal that you have. So, but overall, Trailhead is a great way to, I think Ahmed said it well, learn the language of Salesforce. You do get provided with training environments. So it's some hands-on experience where you actually are given an assignment and you go build a thing, and then it will check your work and tell you if you built it correctly. So you're walking away with the theoretical knowledge, but then also the hands-on. And so there's two real, I think, big things after that. One is the tests, which I really appreciate your story. Many people fail the first time, but a failure is still a great learning experience because it shows you your strengths and your weaknesses. And, you know, figuring out, you know, what test you want to go for first and then get that first pass. And they have some newer tests now that are called associate level exams. And the associate level exams are really maybe a good stepping stone to your first like administrator level certification, because it gets would help you build your confidence faster, getting some certifications under your belt. But I would definitely say the admin certification is the cornerstone for many other paths in Salesforce. So that's a good one to focus on. And the other piece I think is really important is how do you get hands-on experience outside of the trailhead? It's really easy to follow the directions and build what they're asking, but going through the process of like solving a real world problem on your own is kind of the next rung of experience building. And what I did when I was new is I took a problem that I saw at my current employer or that I thought existed in the industry, and I got myself a Salesforce developer environment, which is a free, you know, sales, sandbox, if you will. And I tried building solutions to those real problems that I was seeing just to see if I could. And it was a really fast way to rapidly improve my skills. And then if I would get stuck, I would go back and train a little bit more and, you know, build a functional application on my own, just as kind of trying to rise up to the next level. Because I think once you get used to those unguided attempts at building things, it goes a long way in the journey of, you know, getting a job in the ecosystem, I think.
Right. Well, before we talk about jobs and, you know, opportunity of that sort, does anybody have a question about the training and the certification process to Ahmed or Garry?
Yes, I would like to.
Colette, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. I've worked in like two companies that use Salesforce for to check data and as well as to do calls, at least like in call centers. Is it the same Salesforce? Because I never did any certification or training, but I just like while in the job, they just taught us this is how to do it, and I just started doing it hands-on. If I want to get certification on this, do I still need to do this training that you are talking about and to pay the cost?
Did you get this, Garry? I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I'm a little hard of hearing. It's a whole nother story I can tell someday. Can you repeat the question a little slower?
Colette is, yeah, so maybe if you want to write it in the chat And you
Yes,
know,
okay,
maybe
let me try to answer once again.
yeah, because it's a
I've
little hard
worked
to
in
hear you.
Okay,
okay, I've worked in a
colleague,
call center.
what I understand from your question, correct me if I'm wrong. You tried to say that you are working somewhere and there are some uh, tables in the computer and you were supposed to connect those tables and you wanted to ask that if that is the Salesforce. Am I right?
Okay, no, actually, like I've worked for two companies. They use Salesforce to do calls,
Mhm.
to actually get customer details and put inside. You can answer calls through Salesforce. You can leave a comment through Salesforce, either to the comment, either to the customer or for yourself. Is it the same program?
Mhm. Very
Okay,
likely.
now,
That's yep.
okay. I was just taught by the company how to do it, like learning on the job kind of thing.
Okay,
But there
so
was no certificate. Mhm.
yes. I mean, any CRM system, which is customer relationship management. So we have the tables containing all the contacts or accounts, and then we have all the leads and opportunities. Yes, every standard CRM system provides all these objects. So most of the times we are entering information for the leads, and then we are working on a specified criteria to convert those leads into opportunities and to win those leads. So this is a standard functionality offered by any CRM system, but the Salesforce is the world leading CRM system due to its robust functionality and through its easy interface. So yes, I mean this is what we are doing, and the good thing in Salesforce that it provides you more functionality than CRM system because they have given you the access and ability to create your own tables, to define your own database, and to grab and to give access to the people who are working in that organizations and then draw the reports. So it's more than a CRM system. So basically, is what I can say that there are two things. One thing is called out of the box applications. Out of the box applications, you buy the license and you start working on the application. You don't need to build anything like sales, like service, like marketing, like e-commerce. So these are the ready-made things, and you can quickly start working on that. But if you want to have some unique requirements, for example, you are working for a school and you want to maintain a student database, so still you can do that in Salesforce. So that is called customer application. It's not like out of the box application.
Okay, so great. Thank you, Ahmed and Colette. I think Abu Bakr is asking how many days or months. I cannot read the chat. I don't know if Ben, you are here because
Yep.
for some reason. Ben, can you read the chat? I mean, I think first of all, the training is totally online, right?
Correct.
And yes, and I think it depends. Everybody has a sort of a customized, there is not
Mhm.
a standard, right? It depends
Well,
on what.
let me add. Nowadays, it's quite easy to learn new technologies due to this internet, and especially due to this YouTube. So there are various channels which are providing Salesforce step by step, but Trailhead is an excellent source of information. It is online. Everyone can go there and create a login and start working on it. It's absolutely free and it gives you an amazing interface. It gives you sandboxes so you can practice whatever you want to build or you want to do some project in Salesforce. So I mean, Trailhead is the best source of learning and it's absolutely free.
Yes, great. So, Garry, do you have something to say about that?
Yeah, just thinking about Colette's question. It sounds like, getting a job at an organization that uses Salesforce, you saw a little bit of it from the user perspective where, there is work being done with Salesforce as the tool. And knowing how to use Salesforce as a user is the a great step in the path. And if you are in a company that has Salesforce already, what we're talking about is the opportunity to become someone on the administrator side, on the engineering side, who is helping design and build and maintain that system. So, just want to say out loud, what we're where there is a huge amount of opportunity, and if you are using Salesforce now, to start to think about, where could this be better? How could I apply my Salesforce knowledge to bring these ideas to leadership at the company and offer, my help to help them. Maybe I don't get to be the administrator, but I can write down business use cases for how we could be more efficient. And hey, can I help the admin build this idea that I have? And again, the great part about the tech is it is faster and easier to make changes than legacy tech. So that's another way to get your foot in the door if you find yourself in a company that has Salesforce already.
Great. So we have about 10 minutes left. So let's talk about, job opportunities, how to go about Ahmed. Now we'll start with Ahmed, and then Garry will give his perspective, because you are the most, you are so experienced in the field. Ahmed, and now that you have your certification, how would you say, how it's been for you, trying to find a job, what you would recommend for, for others? I know, obviously, knowing all the other challenges, while, seeking asylum, and the legal and the, financial aspects of surviving and so on. So how has it been for you since you did your certification?
Yeah, as Garry said, that Salesforce is not like restricting you for one thing like administration or developer. There is something for a person having any background. For example, an engineer, there could be some specific tasks which is related to his field, and which can help him in to learn Salesforce specific functionality, which is good for engineers. Or like if you have commerce background, if you have coding background, if you have admin background, there are lots of things. Salesforce has built for the people having any background. Like Garry said, that before they were starting it from administration, and now they have introduced another certification, which is a first step before going to the administration. So which is a good step. So what I'm saying, that if you have accounting background, if you have commerce background, if you have engineering background, if you have any background, there is something for you to learn in QuickBooks. So it provides you a huge platform.
How is it now that
In
you
my
have used?
case,
Yes, go
yeah,
ahead.
in my case, I'm taking little bit time in searching job. The foremost problem, that I do not have experience specifically in Salesforce. Okay. Yes, I have experience in SQL Server. I have experience in other platforms, but specifically not in the Salesforce. So it's not a big deal, because thanks God, due to the internet, there are some sites which, for example, there is a site catchafire.com, and you can go there. There are the companies which are non-profit mostly, and they have given you a task, a job, which will save them some money and give you an opportunity to learn. And you can mention in your resume, okay, I have worked for that company, I have built that report, or I have created so many users, or I have built some functionality in the Salesforce. So I'm in that phase. I'm trying to grab more and more experience, and I'm sure that very soon I will be on job.
Garry, what would you advise? How do you, what do you say because everyone obviously is willing to do a certification with the hope to get a job at the end of the road.
Yeah, and I'll say, there's no guarantees that if you get a cert, you've got a guaranteed job. I think with any move, particularly into a new career, it's going to take some digging and some rejections along the way to land that first job that you're looking for. And I would just want to give everyone encouragement to keep going because I am always seeing people post to fill vacancies in Salesforce positions, whether it's on the admin side or working at a consultancy or working at a agency. I do think in Salesforce right now, the specialist roles are still very, very highly sought after. So if you're into email marketing and specialize in Marketing Cloud, if you're into analytics and specialize in Tableau, if you're into engineering and specialize in integrations, if you're into cybersecurity and focus on that, there are, I think, a higher demand versus supply in some of those specialties, but you're probably going to need to get, go through that admin path to learn the basics first and then kind of branch off into what interests you. But there's still a lot of opportunity out there. Salesforce is still growing 20 to 30% per year in their market share, which means they need 20 to 30% more professionals every year to support the ecosystem. And there are many, many groups within the Salesforce community, Slack communities, and other places where everybody helps each other out. So, beyond the little group that we have here today, there are just massive global networks of Salesforce professionals that are trying to help each other out, and improve their skills, find jobs, and definitely would encourage investigating options there as well.
Great. Well, does anybody have any question on this topic or want to share maybe their experience about looking for a job in this kind of field?
Oh, I have one other bonus. Everybody on this call has some degree of multiple language skills. And I do see, especially in consulting, where people are looking for people who can speak English plus another language to fill geographic specific project needs. So just throwing that out there, that even if you're new at Salesforce, but you know 2 languages, those types of skills can really be marketed to your advantage as you're trying to get into the space.
That's great. That's true. That's at least, I think, the case for everybody who's on this call. Everybody speaks another language.
True.
Yeah.
True. And I'm sure some people maybe more than 2 languages.
Yes. For sure.
Yeah, and
Anyone?
Maria, the good thing in Salesforce, every day dozens of jobs come through LinkedIn and through other platforms. So there is, too many jobs at various levels, like administrator, senior administrator, developer. So there are too many jobs. I know I'm taking little bit time because my preference is just to I got my work authorization document in September, so I was hurried to start earning something. I should have some source of income, and I don't want to accept any job. So now I have a temporary job, so I'm not very much in hurry to accept a job. So I'm taking little bit time, but I want to join a right company and right position, which is Salesforce administrator, which is I prepared and I got the certification. So for me to taking some time is just to get a right job.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's a good idea because Garry says that there is a lot of, it's really an area that is growing so much that opportunities are really will open up. And
Yeah, so many opportunities comes every day.
Anyone that has any question, want to share, want to make a comment about what you heard tonight? Well, then, Garry, any lasting thoughts? I think we will finish soon, and really
Sure.
we're
Yep.
very pleased because it's really wonderful to have the chance to hear of your experience, Garry, and for people who are new in this country, it's a great. Hopefully, it will open up some opportunities.
Yeah, I'll just say thank you everyone for taking the time tonight. I'm really passionate about helping folks be successful with Salesforce. So I did just post my LinkedIn URL if you ever want to send me a message. Happy to connect and see if there's anything I can do, or words of encouragement or share experience if it's helpful.